After breeding all those creatures, it was finally time to run our next artifact cave. The Artifact of the Clever. All right, here we go. But before we head in there, we need to go back to the beginning. Also, just a quick heads up, this episode was recorded on a new setup. I'm still working on getting everything dialed in, but if you notice anything that sounds or looks a little different, definitely let me know. With how the direwolf performed in the last cave, I wasn't exactly confident running the Artifact of the Clever the same way. Luckily, I had a really good Sabertooth saddle waiting back at base. So the plan was simple. Go find a Sabertooth. Easy enough, right? After searching for hours, and hours, and even more hours, I still couldn't find one. But eventually, I found something even better. A male Megatherium. Ooh. Okay. Of course, I'm out of stam right now. And considering we already had 2 females back at base, this is exactly what we needed. Oh boy. Yeah, please don't move too much. Yes. All right. Sweet. After taming the Megatherium, I went straight back to base and got to work. But I also realized something. I probably shouldn't run the entire cave relying on a single direwolf. And for all I knew, the Megatherium might not even fit through the cave. So while I was breeding the Megatheriums, I started building up a direwolf pack too. That way we'd have options. If the wolves could handle the cave, great. And if things got out of hand, hopefully the Megatheriums could finish the job. With a plan finally in place, it was time to see if any of this would actually work. We didn't get very far into the cave before running into our first problem. And no, it wasn't the cave creatures. It wasn't getting lost. It wasn't even a giant swarm of enemies. It was just getting these direwolves to just follow each other. Alright, not a great start. Once we made it to the first room, we found an explorer note. And then the chaos began.
Were it not restricted to the waters.
Gosh, that's right. We have the new Aranios. Oh, shoot. Okay. And we are already missing one or two of these guys. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. After clearing out the room, we grabbed our first cave drop. All right, what do we got? Ooh. Okay, that is pretty good. The deeper we got into the cave, the more things started to get a little sketchy. Oh, jeez. Okay. Up until this point, things had gone surprisingly well. Then we reached the part of the cave I knew was gonna be a problem. Yeah, I really have a feeling this is not gonna work. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm just waiting for one to fall down there at this point. Go after them. Yep. Nope, you're done. This pack was somewhat a waste of time. With only 2 wolves left, things were starting to look pretty rough. Okay. Okay, that's a problem. Thankfully, we had a backup plan. Okay, so yeah, I kind of had a feeling. Oh, shoot. That this wasn't really gonna work. So I made a backup plan. let me introduce you guys to Orkin. And if we need it, Terminex. I'm hoping this can get through the cave, though. Having Orkin and the Megatherium bug buff, the rest of the cave became a breeze. Officially good to get this artifact. But yeah, we'll definitely take a look around and see if there's anything. Ooh, there's an Arcplura right there. Might want to just take care of you first. There we go. We'll still take a look around and everything for loot drops, but... Ooh, Megatherium, can you get out of there, please? Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Good. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that the dire wolf pack wasn't really going to work at this point, but I guess it didn't hurt to try, right? But there we go. That is the artifact of the Clever, and we can go ahead and throw that out. Rest in peace, wolf pack. Not sure if there's anything else we can do in this cave. I will say, I really like what they did with the Aranios. I think it's really, really cool. Makes the caves a little more challenging, especially since they can, like, slow you down and everything. It'd be really nice if you'd be able to get some silk from them. I know the other way around, when you actually tame a spider, you can get silk that way, but I think it would have been really cool if when you ended up killing an Aranio, which, yeah, no, okay. We don't really have anything to double check that, but no, I don't think we were getting silk or anything from killing the Aranios. I don't know. I think that might have been kind of cool, but... All right, I think that's it for the cave, though. I don't think there's too much in this cave. I think that's one of the smallest caves, if I'm going to be honest. We did get a little bit of loot. We got that Stego saddle, which is going to be really good for us, especially looking forward to the dragon eventually. I think Stego's, at least bringing a Stego in, might be a pretty good strategy to avoid the Dimorphodons and all that. Oh, that's right. I can't go this way. All right. But I also don't want to end up in that water because there's just a ton of Sarcos there that I don't want to deal with. But But yeah, I would say overall this cave wasn't bad. We did end up losing a decent amount of dinos, but again, that was just, you know, I think I'm done using the dire wolves at this point. Gonna have to figure out another strategy when it comes to caves in the future. I guess we could try to keep doing the Megatherium, especially since a lot of caves do have bugs in them. And because of the bug buff and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll have to see. But I think at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident that I can jump off of this thing. Especially since the sizing is going to be the biggest issue with the Megatherium going through these caves. Next cave on the list would be the artifact of the massive. Kind of just get all the broodmother ones out of the way. Greywind, okay. I guess she'll come back with us. I guess we could have also went ahead and brought out the other Megatherium, who is Terminex, and it's a female, so we would have gotten the buff that way, but I don't know. I don't know how long it's been, but creatures following other creatures in Ark just doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't. I think that's always been my biggest problem with... Oh, shoot. I hear a loot drop. Like I said, I feel pretty confident to just run on foot at this point. But I'm hearing a loot drop. Or at least I feel like I'm hearing one. Did this one respawn? Oh, it did. Okay, so we got a twofer right here. I don't know if I'd be getting a hyena, but okay. And then, yeah, there's a nice backup torch. Cool. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it for the cave. I don't really think there's anything else in here. Are there any other loot drops that I missed? Not loot drops, explorer notes? I think there's only the two that I got. But I guess worst case, we can always come back to this cave and get the rest if I did end up missing some on the way. But like I said, even though we lost some creatures, I think this cave was a success. What do you guys think? We made it out with the artifact, survived the cave, and now we were one step closer to taking on the broodmother. But before we do that, we've still got some work to do.